Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about the topic social order and social control. Remember, this topic is from chapter 1, the sociological perspective, and it is a part of paper 2. As you already know that we have covered chapter 2, chapter 3 and 4. So we are moving towards the last chapter, that is sociological perspective. And yes, most of the things we have already covered in the previous topic. So this will be very easy for you to understand what we are going to talk in our chapter number 1. So I have selected this topic because it is one of the most important topic, and if you see the past papers, there are many questions regarding this topic. So one thing you have to do is to focus on this topic, and yes, I'll tell you from the examination point of view that how examiner is going to test you in this topic. So let's talk about the very basic idea. Social order. Yes, as we all know that every society, whether it's Pakistani society, whether it's American society, they all want to perfectly display their culture. They all want to be stable, and they want to portray themselves as one of the best society. So what you need to make a society a stable society, a well-functioning society, a proper society, or you can call it an exemplary society. Yes, first thing you have to do in order to make your society an example for every society is to maintain social order. Yes, the behavioral pattern and regularities established by society that make social actions possible. This is the definition of social order. Yes, one has to maintain social order in the society to make it a fully functional society. Well, yes, many of us believe that this social order is good for every society. However, there are perspectives opposing that this social order is not benefiting everyone equally. But they are sociologists that believe that this social order is necessary. Let's talk about the first perspective. Well, the first perspective on social order is functionalism. Functionalism. As I have discussed functionalism many times in my classes during the chapter family, during the part of structuralist and interpretivist approach. Let's talk about functionalist a bit more. Yes, functionalism is the belief that in order to make society stable, in order to maintain harmony, social institutions have to work properly. Social institutions? Yes. Let me give you one example quoted in the book. Yes, sociologists believe that society is like a human body. And what you have in human body? Organs. And yes, all organs are functional. Well, if the functions are proper, the body will be healthy, the body will be fine. You say, I'm fit. I'm all right. But remember one thing, all organs are dependent on one another. If one organ is not performing well, the other will have effect on it ultimately. Yes, the same thing is communicated by the functionalist. They say that these social institutions, they work together. They are dependent on each other. And in order to make society stable, these social institutions that are connected with each other have to perform well. For example, family has to perform its function properly, and they use the word functional prerequisite. Functional prerequisite means that the most important function that every institute has to follow. And remember one thing, in order to make individual a competent social actor, these institutions are working like family, media, education, religion, law, workplace. They all are setting expected pattern of behavior that one has to follow in order to maintain social order in the society. And that is very important for the society. For example, a student has to do certain things, a father has to do certain things, workplace, yes, has to do certain things. So everyone is working properly, there will be no chaos in the society. Every institute is working well, there is no problem in the society. So, according to functionalism, society is maintaining social order with the help of the social institutions. And remember, functionalism, they focus on macro approach. Macro approach, or you can call it macro sociology. By the way, what is macro approach? They talk about the social structures and they talk about the society as a whole. And yes, they are also having a structuralist idea. They are also known as a structuralist. Why? Because they see that our behavior is shaped by the powerful social forces. They decide that how we should behave, how a student should behave, how a teacher should behave, how a policeman should behave. So we don't have any free will. Our behavior is determined by the structure of the society. So a structuralist approach. We think what we are doing is on our own. No, not. Because the structure decide, family decide, education system decide, media decide, religion decide what to do at what place, at what time, and how to do it even. So, and that is the point of view of functionalism, that this social order is necessary for the society. The other perspective that we have is Marxism. Marxism. Well, Marxism also take macro approach. Well, they are known as a structuralist. Definitely, they talk about the overall structure of the society. But the interpretation of a society according to Marxists is really very different here. How it is different? Yes, according to Marxist approach, work is the base of all the society. Work is the most important thing here. And yes, the institution, social institutions and political institutions are very important. Yes, work is the base and these are the superstructures. There is a strong relationship between base and the superstructure. Work is the base. In order to survive, we all have to work. And yes, remember one thing, that these political institutes, they make work possible by making policies, making reforms, laws, controlling the situation of the country, and many things. And yes, state is responsible. The political institutes are responsible for maintaining a good system. And on the other hand, work is supported by other social institutions like family, which prepare you for education, like education system, which prepare you for work, like your media, which tell you that if you work hard, you can succeed. But the problem is that according to Marxism, work benefit ruling class. Well, according to Karl Marx, ruling class and working class, they are the two main social classes. And yes, ruling class, they are the owners of factors of production. They own the businesses, they're rich people. And working class, they serve the ruling class because they don't have the money, so they have to work. But ultimately, social order is maintained by ruling class in order to make working class keep working for them. Keep working for them. And remember one thing, that ultimately the work benefit the most ruling class. And according to Karl Marx, according to his followers, work is benefiting ruling class more than the working class, because the profits are so high, and at the same time the worker's salary is so low. So there is a conflict of work. Benefit goes to ruling class, and what working class get? They get nothing. And working class, they are in false consciousness. They say, oh, they are such good people, they are setting up industries and businesses for us. And remember, ruling class are the powerful ones. They make things happen. They control the society by their wealth. They have influence everywhere. So according to Karl Marx, ruling class is maintaining social order in order to control the working class. That is why Marxist approach is also known as conflict approach. And remember, as we have already discussed in many of the classes, that functionalism, yes, they see the consensus in the society, so this is also known as consensus approach, if you remember my previous lectures. Another view that we have in the conflict approach is of feminist. Feminist. Well, we have discussed a lot of time feminists in the class. Remember one thing, feminists believe that social order in the society is maintained in order to benefit men, because the whole structure of the society benefit men more than women. Woman is exploited everywhere in the society. Woman is having less benefits, less rights wherever you go. So according to feminist social order, females are convinced to follow the system of the society. They expect female to stay at home. They expect female to have domestic role, to cook, to wash, childcare, and yes, they consider man to be the breadwinner. So society maintains this scenario in order to maintain social order by marginalizing female into the homes and by promoting man towards the work. Well, things are changing, but remember, many of the females around societies are suffering from this. Well, there are three ways in which we can talk about the feminism. Liberal feminism, they believe that things are improving for the female. They talk about the equality of male and female. They think that society is improving. Gradually, females are getting right. Act like Equal Pay Act, Sex Discrimination Act, Domestic Violence Act, Divorce Reform Act. These are all are benefiting societies, and male are helping their wives in the home, in childcare, and in domestic work, and there is equality developing in the society. But yes, absolutely rejected by the radical feminist. They think that patriarchy is the main cause of female exploitation. And what is patriarchy? Male dominance in the society. In order to give females more right, we have to end the patriarchy. And this is a bit difficult. And we have Marxist feminists, they think that capitalism is the main cause of female exploitation. Remember, Marxists, they are against the capitalist society. These capitalist societies are the main cause of exploitation. Remember, I told you, workers are exploited in the capitalist societies. Same, the females are also exploited in capitalist society according to Marxist feminists. They believe the system wants female to serve male at home so he can go to work freely. He can, when he comes home, he get everything ready. So in the morning, he can wake up and go to serve the ruling class. That's the system. So both have different perspective, like Marxism and feminism, but they will fall in the category of conflict approach. And functionalism, they have a different idea. Well, one really good thing I would like to tell you this, remember, we also studied about the action approach. Action approach, like, let me use another word for that. We have talked about interactionist perspective. Interactionist perspective or interactionism, I can write here. According to action approach, your day-to-day conversation, your day-to-day interaction is really very important, and it shapes the society, because society is a mental construction that is here. There is no such physical existence of a society. This is exists on mind. However, we have geographical borders, but society is in mind. Well, as you all know, that take the example of 10 years back, 20 years back, something you and your parents were following or not, so that is not accepted now. Norms change. Norms are changing, values are changing, difference in right and wrong are changing, moral standards are changing. So, how? Because action approach believe that according to the time, according to the situation, things change. And yes, if they change, they'll become the part of the social order. And remember, everything that is happening in the society is affecting the other thing. For example, political activities will affect economic activities. Economic activities will affect cultural activities. Everything is. Now, the biggest example that we have in today's time is that coronavirus that is spreading all over the world. And remember, by this virus, you can see the damages. You can see the whole world is affected. The trade, the economy, the tourism, the education system, whatever you talk about, things are changing because we are living in a global village. Globalization is affecting. So, what I want you to do, this topic is available in the book. Let me tell you the page as well, so it will make easy for you. from page number 20 to page number 24. I want everyone to read this topic, and yes, tonight I'll be giving you the question that explain the Marxist approach of the social order, explain the feminist approach of the social order, explain the action approach of the social order, and you can talk about the action approach of feminist as well. And remember, when the examiner is asking this question is 11 marks or 25 marks, so you can use both sides of debate. If the focus is on the capitalism, so you can write about functionalism as an alternative and feminism or action approach. And if it is focusing on the stability of the society, is social control is necessary for the stability of society, so alternatively you can write about Marxism, feminism. That's it. Hope you guys understand everything. Thank you. Bye for now. भाई देख लें आवाज़ आई नहीं आई है.